Next, the level of homophobic bullying in Britain's secondary schools has fallen by a third in a decade, according to a study from the University of Cambridge. It was commissioned by the gay rights charity Stonewall. It says the use of insulting language is less frequent and schools are more likely to prevent attacks on gay pupils. But the report does say that 45% of gay pupils still face bullying. We can speak now to David Braniff-Herbert, who was bullied at school over his sexuality. He's now an LGBT activist, and to Jake Jones, who's a secondary school PE teacher in East London, who can tell us how his school is doing when it comes to tackling the bullying of LGBT pupils. Welcome, both of you. Thank you very much for talking to us. David, hello. Bullying started for you when you went to secondary school, when you were about 13, 14 years of age.
Yeah.
Tell our audience a little bit about that.
That's right. I mean, school was a terrifying experience for me. It started with name calling, and I think it's because I wasn't the sort of usual kind of masculine type. I think my voice was different. And as soon as they picked up on that, they just honed in on it. They continually honed in on it. And it started with name calling, but it continually escalated.
And the impact upon you?
The impact on me, I mean, I think I was about, I think I was turning 14 when my hair started to fall out, and the stress was getting to me so substantially that I started to consider self-harm, and I started to have thoughts about killing myself. And that was a really tough time. And my mother, you know, could see that there was something going on, and she took me to the doctor, and the doctor diagnosed me with depression. And I think it's a bit harder for doctors to diagnose depression. And I was given antidepressants. So it was a really tough time. Walking around the schools was pretty tough. It was terrifying.
Let me bring in Jake, secondary school PE teacher. Thank you for taking a quick break from your classroom to speak to us. You teach students in years 7 to 11, I think, and PHSE. What do you cover in those lessons that you think may have contributed to this drop in terms of the rates of bullying of LGBT students?
So in terms of PSHE, I think there's a huge scope for a lot of content that can be covered. At my school personally, we have a Pride Youth Network that the company Educate and Celebrate helped us set up. This is a group of young people who may identify as LGBT or may just be friends or allies, and they've done things such as lead on LGBT History Month Assembly, lead assembly such as homophobic, transphobic, biphobic bullying, and it's really just about having that visibility and having role models within without kind of outside of school. So when you've got young people who do identify as LGBT, they can kind of see that there is aspirations and there is somewhere for them to go. There's some great organisations out there, and I think in terms of resource, there's a plethora, and it's about showing other schools and showing other teachers where to go. I've been lucky enough to kind of be privy to this information with the work I've done in the LGBT community. So there are great organisations such as Diversity Role Models who will bring in people from the LGBT community, Educate and Celebrate who will do things around whole school training, Pride Youth Networks. Mermaid is a fantastic charity for trans youth and their families, and I definitely think it's going in the right direction. We've come a long way, but there's kind of practical policies that will move us in the right direction, such as kind of gender neutral toilets, cubicles in changing rooms. Obviously PE brings up quite a lot of different issues for pupils in that remit, and there's definitely work to be done, but it's not all bad. There is some great stuff going on out there, and we've definitely had some positive experience here at my school.
Thank you. It's good to hear. Thank you very much, Jake. Jake Jones, secondary school PE teacher in East London. Thank you very much, David. Thanks for coming on the programme. David Braniff-Herbert. £46,000 for a